I'm Tim Marshall. Welcome to the R&B Showcase, giving you the best in classic and contemporary R&B, Motown, pop, soul, jazz, and blues, featured artists and special guests. We've got a special guest with us today, live in the studio. He is the current lead singer of the legendary Blue Notes and has a brand new solo album out called Ready for Love. We're going to welcome to the R&B Showcase, Art Sugar Bear Aiken. Let's give a round of applause for Art. Welcome him to the show.
Thank you for having me, Tim.
What's happening, brother? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be seen, brother.
Live and in person.
Yeah, live and in person.
How you been, man?
Hey, man. Blessed, man. Just blessed by the best.
Blessed by the best. Yes, indeed. We got our co-host, Kevin White, music historian. Welcome, Kevin. How you doing?
Hello, Tim. Good to see you today.
Good to have you back with us again. The last show was really great, and this one's going to be just equally as great because we got the man with us himself, Art Sugar Bear Aiken. Now, we know that, Art, you are the current lead singer of a legendary Blue Notes, but I wanted to just go back a little bit in history a little bit because, you know, there's a lot documented about this group. Right. There's a lot written about this group, and then a lot that we've learned over the years interviewing various members of the group. And just to kind of take us back a little bit, we know it was, now you can fill in the holes, but we know it was started off with a group called the Blue Notes, late 50s and early 60s, and they had My Hero and songs like that. And then Harold reformed the group as Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, and then Teddy Pendergrass was the drummer, became the lead singer. So far, so good?
So far, so good.
All right. And then they had If You Don't Know Me By Now and I Miss You, which had Lloyd Parks on it, and Bad Luck and The Love I Lost and Wake Up Everybody. And then there was a split in the group when Teddy Pendergrass left the group, and then Larry, Lloyd, and Bernie left the group, and then they all formed a group called the Blue Notes. And then Harold Melvin reformed his group with various members, and they were signed to, now what label was that? Was that ABC they went to?
That was ABC. That was the Reaching for the World album.
Okay, so they went to the Reaching for the World album for ABC. So you almost had three entities now. You had Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes on ABC. You had Teddy Pendergrass signed as a solo artist on Philadelphia International Records. And then you had the Blue Notes, and that group, Larry, Lloyd, and Bernie, and I think Ollie Woodson was the lead singer at the time. And they had songs like Disco Explosion and All I Need and various other club singles over the years. And then I believe that's part of your inclusion.
Before Ollie came in, they had a guy named John Atkins.
I remember John Atkins, yes. Okay, so he did, and I remember interviewing Ollie. He did tell me that story that John Atkins was there, and so John Atkins came in right after Teddy, I guess, because Teddy left that group.
Yeah.
So Teddy actually left Harold Melvin and went with the Blue Notes for a very short time, right?
Right.
Because I remember seeing them on like Mike Douglas' show, and it was just the Blue Notes. And when I saw them on that show, I was like, wow. I said, because I didn't know, we as young kids watching the show at the time, we didn't know that Teddy Pendergrass and Harold Melvin, we thought that Harold Melvin did the lead because they called it Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. We just didn't know. So we saw the four guys in the Blue Notes and know Harold Melvin, but they still had that sound.
Yeah, because I think Harold had gotten ill.
Okay.
And they were on the Donna Shore show.
Okay.
So Donna Shore said, well, we had a show to put on for you guys tonight, but I don't think we're going to be able to do it because Harold is not here. So Teddy says, why not? She said, what do you mean, why not? Teddy being Teddy. He says, Harold doesn't sing. So they went on and did the show, and
it's interesting.
I don't know what happened, whether the arguments came, whatever, and whether that built up on the departure of the guys, but that's what happened. Okay.
All right, so at that point, did Teddy leave the group, the Blue Notes, with the three guys?
After a while, I heard a young lady by the name of Taz, which was his girlfriend.
Okay.
Bought his contract out from Harold. So I don't know how true it is, but that's what I heard because my brother Soto was his personal bodyguard, which he was the bodyguard for the Blue Notes. But when Teddy left, my brother went with him.
Okay.
So
now at that point, Teddy signed with Philadelphia International and continued as a solo artist, right?
Yeah, I think he was still there, yeah.
Okay.
And he did his first album and went platinum.
Never looked back after that.
But then they, Bernie, Lloyd, and Larry, obtained, John. And I think either John had a rich uncle or he hit the lottery. And he bought a car dealership in Florida.
Okay.
And that's when they met Ollie Woodson.
Okay.
So they went on and did a show with Ollie Woodson, and lo and behold, they did a show with the Temptations.
Mm-hmm.
Otis' eyebrows went up. Got in Ali's ear, say, "You want to be a Temptation?" Ali couldn't tempt it, so he said, "Yes." You know, so that's when they went out and did "Treat Her Like a Lady."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the song that got me in trouble.
Okay, so tell us about the trouble you got into with that song, Art.
Well,
What
I was a contractor by trade.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up on the ladder, got my little CD player on the step. I'm at this singing "Treat Her Like a Lady." So at first, Caesar from the Times lived across the street where I was working at. So his wife came and ran in and got Caesar and said, "Man, you should hear this brother out there singing on his ladder," you know. So Caesar had me to come to one of his rehearsals, and they were doing tribute songs, you know, and this guy wanted me to, you know, sing Teddy songs and the Blue Note songs, and the guy that was doing them, he ain't like that.
Okay.
So they had me over there rehearsing, and it was crazy about the lead. So they say, "Well, can you do background?" As soon as we got over there, started doing the background, we was in the guy's house. So every time we started singing, he pumped the volume up on his CD player so we couldn't hear each other.
Mm.
So I said, "Hey, C, seemed like your boy got a problem with me, man. I came to add to you guys, not to take away. So you get your boy in check, you know, and give me a call." So the next day, lo and behold, the same song comes on. I'm up there singing "Treat Her Like a Lady" with my brush. Bernie Wilson rides by.
Okay.
He hears me. He comes over there and shaking the ladder. I'm up to the second floor with him. I say,
That sounds like Bernie.
"Yeah." He talking about, "Come down here, man." I said, "I'll be down the suit and you think you don't get off that ladder." So when I came down, he gave me Larry Brown's address,
Okay.
which was on 10th and Dolphin in Philadelphia. So I went over. He grabs his little CD player and we go in the basement. And he's playing "Miss You."
Mm-hmm.
He sat there and let me sing that whole song. And he waited for one thing on that song with that note that Teddy holds at the end.
Okay.
Nobody that's ever been with the groups to this day do that note on them songs. Nobody did it but me. And that's what got me hooked. I was a Blue Note ever since then. And what, 89 I started with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's what, close to 40-something years. Do the math, Kevin. I'm a teacher, but not a math teacher. That's a long time, man. So you've been there for a long time performing with the group.
But you know, and during the time when I had gotten with them, you know, I was greener than a dollar bill, man. So my brother told Bernie, he said, "Bernie, you know me, right?" Because my brother, he was a martial artist, and he taught, you know, martial arts. He said, "You know what I'm gonna do to you? If you got there, get my brother caught up in some of this mess out here, you know."
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing you know, I've been with them guys so long, man. My skin thicker than a rhino's skin now, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bernie, Lloyd, Larry.
Oh yeah, I get to be with them.
Hey. It's like the old gospel song, man. I've been through the storm.
Yeah, that's a heck of a. So tell us about it. Touring with this group, Larry, Lloyd, and Bernie. You know, they were there from the Sound of Philadelphia years with the Blue Notes. You know, when they had, you know, all the great hits on Philly International, and then you guys are all performing together and touring together. And that's when I first saw you guys touring. I said, "Wow, the guys are moving real smooth." And of course, you had that lead. Tell us about working with them on the road, Larry, Lloyd, and Bernie.
It was crazy, man. Some things are not meant to be told.
Okay,
but, you know,
I got you. But what you could tell on the air.
But you know, it was crazy, but it was also something that I loved doing, you know, and
it's part of history, though, you know.
And the thing is, every time Phil International would put an album out on the Blue Notes, I would sing it, you know, and I would sing all the lyrics, everything. And the first night that I gotten to do a show with them was at the Dell. in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And they were going to introduce me as the new lead singer.
Okay.
And it was getting rid of this guy named Donnell Gillespie. Because him and Larry had problems, and they had me dress up like them, with them captain uniforms they used to wear.
Mm-hmm.
I used to always, every time we get dressed, I used to sing that song, The Love Boat, 'cause we got all them captain uniforms. And I'm waiting for Donnell to come off stage, and he going to be mean. He's like, I ain't getting off stage. He did the whole show. Wouldn't let me.
Now, was he the lead singer with that group, though?
Yeah, he was the lead singer with Bernie Lloyd and Larry.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I've never heard that. Okay.
Yep. So when
was that before Harold picked him up? Because he went with Harold after that.
Yeah,
though.
right after I'd gotten with them, that's when Donnell went with Harold.
Kind of like the Temptations. You guys are going from group to group.
But believe it or not, Harold fired Donnell.
Okay.
And when he had his stroke, Harold's wife, Miss Ophelia Melvin, went back and got him, bring him back to the group.
Okay.
While Harold's, was recovering, but he never, gotten out of the hospital. So Donnell stuck, and that's when it became Harold Melvin's Blue Notes.
Okay.
So.
That's after the passing of Harold, though.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now we understand there's a Harold Melvin's Blue Notes performing, and then there's the Blue Notes, which is your group performing.
Man, Harold had like a chicken coop full of Blue Notes. So you might find a Blue Note group anywhere.
Well, Blue Note, he said something like, as long as he had the mold, he can always bake a cake or bake a new cake or something, something to that point.
Let's not leave out Lloyd Parks.
Lloyd, yeah. Well, we would know that group splinter a lot, splinter groups and things like that. But just for the sake of performance, we have basically the two groups.
Yeah, but anybody that sings with Lloyd, they're Blue Note, so. Lloyd breaks up, then they go and form a Blue Note group. You got a Blue Note group in Florida. When from Harold Melvin's Blue Notes, Tony Brooks, he done started a Blue Note group. So I mean,
that could be confusing to the public too. And we try to just focus on the ones that are part of that lineage of the Blue Notes, and we know you're part of that.
See, we started out as the original Blue Notes.
Okay. I remember that when you were called the original Blue Notes. And
then that's when we became the legendary Blue Notes. Okay.
Now, why was the change?
But we would never use Harold's name as long as I was with Bernie and them, Right. They did respect that.
Right. That was good. That's good, yeah. And it makes sense. You're not using the same name you're using.
So after Larry became ill, we was at the, in Harris at the casino over there. And we were going to do a show over there for Jerry Blabbett. And Larry had passed out on stage.
Okay.
So we had to get a guy to help with the background from the this group called the Tramp Group, one of them expansions. So while we were doing that, Larry went straight to the hospital, and he was in there for a week. And when he came home, I went by to see him, and he had an oxygen tank in the living room with a cord going all over the house, And he asked me when they had taken him back to the hospital, so I went to see him, and he made me promise him that I would keep the name of the group going.
Okay.
He said, because if anybody can do it, I know you can do it. So he said, promise me. So I gave him that promise. And with me, when I make a promise to somebody, a promise is your word. It's not meant to be broken. So only one going to stop me from doing this is God. That's the one going to sit me down, So people may think because I did a solo project that, would you leave in the group? No. Good. I got a Blue Note transfusion. It's in my blood, that music, I don't care when you put on the radio. What day, time you're going to hear a Blue Note song. Boys and Men broke Elvis' record. How many times you hear Boys and Men throughout the week? You don't. But you're going to hear a Blue Note song. So I just love the music, man.
Well, the classics. If you don't know me by now, Bad Luck, The Love I Lost, I Miss You, and what other great songs?
Where Are My Friends?
It's my favorite. Where Are My Friends? I love that album. The album cuts too.
Man, we
Keep On Loving You and
Be For Real.
Be For Real. You did a good job with that. Now I remember you did that song in concert. You know?
Every time we do that, man, people lose their mind.
Yeah,
man, you know.
that's a good. You do that. That's a great
and
song.
Now, I start doing Harold's two greats.
Mm-hmm. Okay, To Be True.
To Be True, and I Should Be Your Lover.
You Be Lover. Do you do the lead in both those? You do the lead in those.
I do the leads on them.
Yeah,
man,
I think you did those we were at I was with Kyle Mack, the recording artist, and we were at the show in Willingboro, and you did those songs as a tribute to Harold. So that's great that you.
But
pay tribute to both of the artists.
None of the other lead singers that was with the Blue Notes.
Mm-hmm.
Harold's wife would not let nobody do those songs.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do them any justice. So she told. If they start singing it, she told them, shut up. But one day we were doing a show, and I was rehearsing them, and during the time, Trudy Melvin, obtained our group because Donnell and them quit on her, so.
Now, Trudy, is that Harold's daughter? Daughter, okay.
So Miss Ovilia said after Donnell and them left, they had all these engagements. She said, I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to start another group. Mm-hmm. So Trudy said, Mom, I got you. She said, what you mean? She said, I got a group, because she had been watching us, Mm-hmm. And she had been talking to my partner, Greg Boyd. And she called him. And we had started working with her. And after a while, we did a show. And man, I started singing I Should Be Your Lover. Mm-hmm. And To Be True, and man, she was standing on the side just crying, man, And she said, I can't believe that you sang that song like that. Everybody think, just because I'm doing Teddy, you gotta, that's all you gotta do, growl, man, I'll get mellow too,
Mm-hmm. I like to hear you singing that mellow tune, sound too. You do some good things on your solo project as well. As you mentioned, you're still with the group.
Yeah.
But you got a new solo album called Ready for Love. I want to talk about this album, man. Tell us about the production. When did you start? Now you got 15 tracks on there, so obviously took you a while to do it. No? All right, fill me in.
Terry, one thing, Terry, I started out with him in 69. And I was sitting on the step, and they had talked to me one time, when they was at a group called the Novaks. Mm-hmm. So one of the guys in the group quit, and they knew where I lived. So I was sitting on the step, and Terry came, and a guy named Cuddy, which was Clifton Logan, and they're like, man, what you doing sitting on the step, man? You're supposed to be at rehearsal. So, and I started with them for about 2 or 3 years, so. And after we broke up, I went back to my contracting business, and that's when I met Bernie.
Okay.
And got with the group. But after that thing didn't go down at the Dell with me singing, when Donnell would leave the stage, mm-hmm. I ain't never want to see the Blue Notes no more.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad. I was hot, so Bernie called my brother and said, man, why don't you get your brother to sing for us, man? He say, and we told Bernie, I'm going to hurt you, man, if you go out there and mistreat my brother, man.
Now, let's take this. Now, what year was this? Because I know, what year was this when this happened?
That was in 68.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And we had a show to do in Memories in Rhode Island.
Okay.
I did a whole show without one rehearsal. Mm-hmm. Knew every word, every song the Blue Notes had. And when we showed up, it was so funny. The owner comes out, he looking around, he looking for Donnell Gillespie, right? Mm-hmm. So Bernie said, well, he's no longer with us. The guy said, oh my God, I got all these people coming and know Donnell, what's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. So he came up to me and said, could you do the job? I said, I'll do my best, sir, Mm-hmm. Man, I got up there and I started singing that stuff, man. After we got done, the guy, he tried to buy me a drink. I said, man, I don't drink. Mm-hmm. I said, I took some water. He gave me a whole gallon of water. Okay. Took me over there to meet his family, everything, man. So, but, I had some beautiful times with them guys, man. You know, it was mostly good. It wasn't a whole lot of bad with the guys, you know. But that Larry Brown, man, I fell in love with that guy. That was the man, you know. I never heard Larry in the whole 25 years I was with them raise his voice. He wouldn't let nobody tick him off, you know. So that's why it was an honor for me to, you know, keep his legacy going, you know.
And keeping it going. And you guys, now tell us about the choreography, because you guys had to replicate that choreography. Did you come up with your own steps? I mean, who's responsible for the choreography for your group?
We put some, you know, everybody contribute now, you know. They took some from the old groups and, you know, added new stuff to them, you know, but everywhere we go, man, he like, man, them Blue Notes bring the heat, man, you know, so they always want us everywhere we go, man, you know.
You got the sound, you got the harmony.
And the thing is, a whole lot of groups out there today, they have background in their tracks.
Oh, okay, when they're on stage.
But we were all singing, man, you know, just straight up singing, man, you know. Like the guys who be on the corner with the bird and everything, you know, everybody wants to be Temptation when they get a drink, you know, so.
Right.
Just raw singing, man, you know, so we love it, man.
Well, let's keep it moving then. Let's go back to your project. Now, you're with a different, I guess, record label with Very Terry Music.
Right.
And this is a great product. This is what we're playing on the air right now. Okay. Tell us about these songs. I mean, we started talking about it, and you said I asked you to take you a while to do because you got so many songs on here. So how long did it take you to record this project?
In between shows, it was 4 months.
Okay.
We did those in 4 months because Terry, he's always loved, him and John Whitehead. Used to always love for me to come in the studio because they used to call me one take, you know.
Okay.
All he did is told me what they want me to say, and I say it, you know. We done, you know. So Terry wanted to do one song on me, you know, and I told him, you know, I said, because I'm always loyal, like, to my guys. So I said, I want the group involved, you know. So he said, okay, we'll make it a Blue Note project. I said, okay. But he didn't get the sound that he wanted out of the group, you know. So he said, well, I'm going to put some girls in the background, you know. So I said, hey, you the boss, you know. It's, you know, not that, you know, I didn't want my group there because I always, you know, put us first, you know. But if, you know, you can't give a guy what he wants, I can't tell him, no, I'm not going to do it. But because of the fact, you know, even though I love this Blue Note music and I'm doing all of the Blue Note songs, I'm promoting them, you know.
Right, exactly.
I'm not leaving no legacy of mine out there. So this here with Very Terry was a gift from God to me, you know, because it was like Teddy and I had the same dream at the same age. We wanted to be a performer. We wanted to hear ourselves on the radio. And I thank God for you, my brother, because you were the first one.
Okay, well, thank you.
That played my song on your radio station, and I heard it, and I was like JT from the 5 Heartbeats.
Okay.
I'm on the radio.
There's nothing like it, you know.
I think I called you and said, and thank you, man. You know, I think I did call you on the phone, man. You know?
Nothing like that first time hearing yourself on the radio, especially with your own music, you know, your own production.
That was my childhood dream, man. You know.
Yeah, you did. Like I said, really, I'm really very impressed with the tracks because they sound fresh. You know, it's not dated sound, but it still has that old school, you know, adult contemporary quality.
And that's what people saying they want back, man, because they don't have songs out there that tell stories no more. It's all this gangster rap and this and that and the other. You can't understand what they're saying. There's no more love in the music, man. That's why the world is going crazy, man.
How about that, you know?
You know, there's no love out there no more, man.
So I want to talk about the productions. Now, you said you knocked it out in 4 months. Can I Come Over? That's got that like new kind of vibe beat to it. I mean, how was it for you to record something in that new style?
It was two old heads, me and Terry. That's what we grew up on.
Well, you kicked it out now.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Are you performing any of these tracks at your live dates?
Pardon me?
Are you performing any of these tracks?
No, not as of yet. You know, it's out there on 4 or 5 different platforms along with Tim, and you know, you got to keep throwing your hook in the water, man. Somebody gonna bite, you know, and it's all over in Europe, South Africa. Everybody playing it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's out there now. I noticed that it's getting a lot of play now, airplay. Now we need more. You know, what I mean, we got to get this out. We get this out there. Ready for Love is the album from Arthur Sugar Bear Aiken, man. You got 15 great tracks on here. And what I like about the album, Kevin, is that it's all different styles of music. Like, it's not just one style of music. It's different types of, I mean, it's R&B, but it's got kind of got a little hip hop to it and a little, kind of flavor to it.
He messed me up on one song, man.
Which one was that? That's probably the one I like.
Black Lives Matter.
So I really didn't play that one too much.
Well, Black Lives Matter.
On the air.
I'm driving down the street with that sound system in my car.
Okay.
And at the end, at the police car, I mean...
Oh, you heard the police car on the... Okay.
I'm looking around for the traffic. And it's on the radio, man. I'm like...
Oh, my goodness.
So you got to be careful for when you listen to that Black Lives Matter on that song if you drive it.
Okay.
Because you'll be pulling over, there ain't be nothing there.
Now I got to play that one now, Kevin.
No, I'm glad he said it because I was going to play it on the way home.
Okay.
So I'm going to be on the lookout.
You're going to think about being live when you're here, brother.
Yes,
but Terry did the music, the lyrics. He produced the whole entire album. It's like I said, he used to work at Philly International with John Whitehead and Chief McFadden. So, yeah.
Ain't no stopping us now. They're two great brothers right there.
Right.
You know,
John Whitehead and myself was in the same baby crib, man.
Wow.
My mother used to babysit for his mother.
Oh, okay.
And we grew up like brothers, man. And his father, back in the day, they had like magistrates. And his father used to work for this guy named Joe Hirsch. And he got him a job, Big John, at down City Hall.
Okay.
And then they did a George Jefferson on us. They moved on up, you know.
Oh, right.
They left us down there.
Now, what part of Philadelphia were you from now? You're in Philly
right
now.
around Germantown Avenue, around Cumberland and York, right in between there. And Germantown, Cumberland, in the area.
Now, you all went to school together. Didn't a lot of the artists went to school together?
Yeah.
Like Teddy Pendergrass and...
Yeah, Teddy and I was in the same school choir, man.
Okay.
He quit.
Uh-oh.
Because my baritone was always a little stronger than his. So he got an attitude because the director would always call me to sing certain songs, so he quit.
That happens in groups of vocal.
And he went across the hall and joined the band. That's why he was a drummer.
Okay. He was a good drummer and came to lead singer. Okay.
Yeah. Great
history. I appreciate you coming here today and sharing this history with us about the Blue Notes and, of course, your great solo album. We wish you much success with this album. Kevin, you're going to go home and listen to it, right?
I brought it up on Apple Music already.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Well, keep on keeping on, brother.
Oh, you got to do that.
Again, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I want to thank our co-host, Mr. Kevin White, for joining us one more time. Let's give Kevin a round of applause.
Thank you very much.
And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary current lead singer of the legendary Blue Notes, new album, Ready for Love. Thank you for joining us, Art Sugar Bear Aiken.
Thank you for having me, John.
Round of applause for Art. Thank you for coming, brother. We appreciate you. Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be seen, brother.
We'll see you on the road.
Okay.
I'm Tim Marshall, and thank you for joining us for R&B Showcase Live.